The majority of the oil is fairly far offshore. I'd like to make one other comment, and I'll go to questions. I believe that this spill is kind of changing in its character. I don't believe any longer we have a large monolithic spill. You can see the perimeter and the trajectories, but I think based on when the oil comes up and the wind and the currents at the time, it's separating into different patches of oil of which you have open water between. And there's good and bad news in that. It's very widely dispersed, and it's hard to kind of manage the perimeter of that. But on the other hand, if there are shore impacts, it's coming ashore in smaller quantities that are basically smaller subsets of what might have been a larger spill. I guess I would tell you it's kind of changing in character over the life cycle of the event, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. We first thought it was 1,000 barrels, and then we thought it was 5,000 barrels. Frankly, whether it was 1, 5, or 10, or 15, our mobilization of resources have been for something far beyond that, because we're always prepared for a catastrophic event. So we have not been constrained in our planning or our resources or our tactics by the flow estimates. And I would urge us all to remember, we're operating in an environment where there's no human access. And the only parameters we have are a two-dimensional video presentation and any remote sensing we can do down there. So while all that goes on, ultimately we're going to have to know the extent of the spill for natural resources damage assessments and other things. As far as the current response, we're on top of everything on the surface and doing a great deal to break this slick up and deal with it offshore so you don't have the impacts here. I think that needs to continue. But as far as how we're actually conducting the response, that can run its course. We're attacking this as if it was a